Hello, Alder Grove families. My name is Tim Warner. I'm the director of Alder Grove Charter School. We are a personalized learning public charter school. I started with the school in 2006 and helped start the school with a small group of educators and Jenny Allen Sangiovanni, who was our founder and original director. In 2017, I interviewed and got the job as director, and have been here ever since. This is new family orientation for Alder Grove Charter School. I'm going to share my screen. Just a couple of things of note. It's a pretty quick presentation. There are a lot of words really fast. And so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the survey at the end, and or just call the office at 268-0854, and hopefully we can answer your questions. All right, let's get started. So as you probably know, we're a homeschool independent study program, and we're a home-based program, so we're not a site-based program. We do offer optional classes on campus, but we just wanted to be really clear that most all of the students' work is completed at home. Students who are unvaccinated can attend Alder Grove Charter School. They can enroll in an independent study program, but they're not allowed to come to campus. So if you have any questions about that, you can call our front office and ask for Lexi. She is the expert in immunization law. So what is Alder Grove? Alder Grove Charter School is an independent study charter school that we serve TK through 12th grade students. We're not a site-based school. We're a provider of voluntary public education for families who choose to educate their children in the home environment, and we're a school that supports the uniqueness of each child. Our mission is to serve students through personalized learning and by supporting parental choice in education. So what is personalized learning? The A+, who is an organization of schools like ours, says that personalized learning is a 21st century model of learning that puts the needs of you, the student, first by providing choice and flexibility in how, what, when, where, and with whom each student learns. And so there are a lot of options in personalized learning. Can be achieved. Education can be achieved through homeschooling, independent study, credit retrieval, online learning, concurrent enrollment in college, community classes, etc. Very flexible. A student's current academic levels influence curriculum choices. Each student may have their own individual curriculum, and the student's interests influence course choices. So for example, elective classes can be created or modified based on interests. Every student's schedule could look different. So for example, a high schooler might be taking art at CR, English online, math here on campus, drama in a local play, PE with a gym membership, and so on. And an elementary student, for example, also might have reading and math at home, piano with a private teacher, science with kits and volunteering at an animal shelter, history through books and field trips, both virtual and live, research and writing papers, etc. Even though we have all that flexibility, the state puts a lot of pressure on charter schools to show that our students are making adequate progress because we're following an alternative education model. Students have freedom in curriculum, but they also must be making adequate progress. So for example, a student couldn't work on the same math concepts all year because that would not show progress. New learning must take place. It just begins at the student level and not at the grade level he or she is assigned based on age. So here are the two ends of the spectrum for Alder Grove. Most people fall somewhere in the middle. But a pure homeschooling family, the parent chooses the curriculum, the parent's responsible for teaching and assigning the work, and the teacher meetings are for check-ins and paperwork and tutoring and that sort of thing. And on the pure independent study side, which is largely where our high schoolers would fall, the parent's responsible for teaching and monitoring daily work, but the teacher chooses the curriculum, the teacher's responsible for assigning and correcting the work, and the weekly meetings with the teacher for instruction, assessment, paperwork, that sort of thing. So here are some programs for learning at Alder Grove Charter School. We have a career college counselor named Jen, and she has worked in the community to set up job shadow, apprenticeship, and internship programs so our students can get connected with local businesses. This is a win-win for both our students and the business, and oftentimes turns into an actual job. She has college and financial aid awareness meetings and workshops for 8th through 12th grade students. We find that starting the conversation in 8th grade is very beneficial to give the students some direction. And we're always adding CTE, career technical education courses and pathways. Currently, we have a health careers pathway, horticulture, construction trades, and web and game design. We offer credit retrieval or early graduation for those students who would need that or would like it. High school students who are behind in credits can earn more credits per semester than in a traditional school. And students can graduate early with a quicker pace if desired. So we gauge the number of credits by the amount of work completed and not by seat time. For the younger students, TK through 2nd grade, we have a weekly parent and student workshop designed to help you teach language arts and math at home. The teacher will bring in a lot of materials and a lot of curriculum and a lot of tips on how to teach language arts and math, which sometimes can be challenging. It's highly recommended for all TK through 2nd grade students and their parents, especially if you've never homeschooled before. We have enrichment classes on campus for grades K to 5. They weren't on campus this year because of the pandemic, but we're hoping that we will be able to have these classes on campus again next year. These classes are optional. They're on Mondays and Wednesday afternoons. We have small class sizes, so that's sometimes challenging to get into the classes. There are wait lists, etc. So talk to your teacher if you would like to attend on-campus classes. They're designed to supplement the homeschooling, so all academic work is completed at home, usually in the morning, and then the student will come in and socialize and learn in the afternoon and have a good time, honestly. On-campus math and science for middle school, 6, 7, and 8, Monday and Wednesday mornings, non-pandemic, of course. These are also optional, sometimes have high demand. Standards aligned classes in science and math. They meet twice per week on a college model with assignments and projects at home the other 3 days. These classes are moving at a grade level clip, and so they're not appropriate for students who are working below grade level or unmotivated. And the majority of work in these classes is done at home 3 days per week. So a parent or guardian must be available to work with the student those 3 days, check and make sure work's getting done, and make sure the student's keeping up in the class, that sort of thing. We have optional core high school classes and electives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have college prep classes in science, math, Spanish, this coming year, some history. For those students who want to go directly to a 4-year university after high school. The elective classes change each semester and have included art and poetry, film appreciation, music, technology, a wide variety. The classes are also on a college model for high school. They meet twice per week with assignments and projects at home the other 3 days. The core college prep classes are not appropriate for students who are working below grade level or are unmotivated. They're definitely college prep and very rigorous. The majority of work in these classes is done at home 3 days per week, so a parent or guardian must be available to monitor student assignments those days. All of those classes come with an assignment sheet and a syllabus, and so it's really straightforward for the parent at home to check and make sure the student's getting their work done each day. We offer a math lab. Math is sometimes challenging to teach at home, so we have time from 10 to 3, Monday through Friday, with drop-in and virtual hours, and we're working on the schedule right now. And this is to help with math work for grades 4 and above. And if you are having a hard time teaching a particular concept, come on in and talk to one of our math teachers. You can get your questions answered also. It will help you be a more effective math teacher at home. If your student chooses to come in for classes, we need those students to be supervised. So they need to be in a supervised place. If there's a break between classes, like the study hall or the math or writing lab, and we expect them to be quietly working on their schoolwork. So when you sign up a student for a class, you need to indicate where the student should be if there's a break between classes. And there will be options for the math lab, study hall, meeting with their teacher, etc. And CT stands for Certificated Teacher, if I didn't mention that already. Students must be working quietly in the math lab or study hall. They're big open spaces, and so we can't have a lot of noise over there. It's very echoey on that side of the building. And we don't have hangout space for parents or siblings of students attending classes, and so we recommend you drop your student off 10 minutes before class and pick them up within 10 minutes after class. Because we're a California public school, we have to follow the same rules as the district school, and we give our students the Smarter Balance Test, or the CASP, in the spring. It's mandated statewide of all students in grades 3 through 8th and 11th grade. That's for language arts and math. And the CASP science test is 5th, 8th, and once in high school. It's computer adaptive. We give those in the spring, and they're required of all of our students within those grade ranges. We also have a school-wide assessment called the NWEA MAP, and that's for 2nd through 11th grade students, and we assess the beginning and the end of every year. They're taken upon enrollment, and those are computer adaptive also. And those are more for choosing curriculum and identifying areas of strengths and weaknesses for the students who are enrolling at Alder Grove. We have a robust academic support program, so students identified as needing help in math, reading, or writing are required to complete an academic support plan with their teacher, and participation in a weekly math, reading, and or writing academic support sessions on campus or online is mandatory. We have a lot of tutors, we have labs, we have online programs. We have many ways to catch students up to grade level. We take that very seriously. Again, our CTs stands for Credentialed Teachers, and that's what we call our teachers. The primary role of the CT are to evaluate the student's academic progress, complete the required paperwork and documentation for each student, communicate school information for parents and guardians, and keep current with school policies and procedures. And CT is considered your main contact between Alder Grove and the family and the student. And along with the newsletter and website, should be the primary source of information for each parent. If you have any questions about the school, go to your teacher first. So the enrollment process, you are watching this video because you are on our wait list and you are most likely going to be enrolled at Alder Grove, so welcome. We have the public lottery that determines the waiting list order. So after you complete your post-orientation survey and as space opens up, CT will call you and set up an enrollment meeting. Most of those will either happen in June or August. During the enrollment meeting, you will fill out paperwork with your student CT and decide how to divide the responsibility for assigning and instructing the schoolwork. You may choose to be in charge of all assigning and instructing, or you may have your CT be in charge of the assigning and instructing. A lot of people will choose to split the duties, and the parent at home will assign and instruct in those subjects that they feel strong in, and the CT will take the rest. Just talk with your teacher to make the best decision for your family. And this information is recorded in the parent-student agreement, which is signed by the parent, the student, and the CT. And you can certainly change your mind during the semester. If you start feeling less confident or more confident, you can either give the teacher more of the assigning duties or take more of your own. It's important to set up a regular meeting day, time, and place during the enrollment meeting and to stick with those, just because the teachers have tight schedules and a lot of time are not very flexible for moving meetings around and stuff like that. You might choose to have your meetings in your home or another convenient location like a local library, a coffee shop, on campus here, etc. This building, while it's pretty big, fills up really fast, so don't rely on just the building. You might have to be flexible with meeting spaces. And how often? You can meet your teacher as seldom as once every 10 days, that's once every 2 weeks, or as often as once a week. And usually 10 days for elementary, and middle and high schools once a week. For students on peer independent study, where the CT is doing all of the assignments, weekly meetings are strongly encouraged. So just check in with your teacher, make a schedule. And you will document attendance at home. We have an attendance form, and you just fill out one educational activity that you've completed every day and then sign it at the end. And you have to give your teacher original work samples, and the teacher makes something we call a learning record. And that learning record is submitted to the state through an auditor. And so the teacher knows what to collect and all of the due dates. So just check in with your teacher. So the teacher documents and evaluates all the student work. So the CT must see all of the students' work each month to evaluate progress. And if you, the parent, are assigning and correcting the work, please provide a record of the work completed to the teacher, including the fun things like games and activities and field trips. All of that can also go into the learning record. A digital or paper planner is really handy. And I have to say I'm a recent convert to Google Calendar, and my phone just tells me what to do all day. It's fantastic. But if you have a shared calendar with your teacher, you can just drop in everything that you worked on each day, or a shared Google Doc. We're a public school, so the allocation of public money is to be spent towards a child's education. So that could be on campus and community classes, field trips, books, supplies, curriculum materials, etc. They need to be secular, non-sectarian, because it is public dollars. The academic content needs to be satisfied first before extracurricular content. Just work with your teacher to order appropriate materials. They know what they can and can't order. Teachers' responsibilities are to assess your students, work with the parents and students to find appropriate curriculum, develop weekly assignment plans when needed, communicate to families and students about opportunities within the school and community, order materials and process vendor paperwork within a timely manner, and respond to text, emails, and phone calls within 24 hours, of course, excluding weekends and holidays. Parent responsibilities: provide daily instruction for elementary age students, monitor daily work for middle and high school students, and offer help or request assistance when needed. Be aware of opportunities at Alder Grove for help, and that would be the labs we offer on campus, the tutoring, the classes, even the online programs. We have a lot of ways that we can help support students. You'll be responsible to transport students to mandatory testing and academic support programs, and keeping appointments and having all necessary paperwork, very important. There's a quick note about special education. If your student has an IEP or a 504, obviously you're not staying after the presentation. This is for the live presentations, but you can call and talk to the SAI teacher or our director of special services, Nicole Dollarhide, and find out what special education looks like here at Alder Grove. Just let your teacher know at enrollment that your student has an IEP or a 504, and be aware that regular attendance in special education services is required for special ed students who require services according to their IEP. These services are not optional, and they're scheduled according to availability and may not be flexible. So just keep this in mind as you consider our school. We have 3 specialized academic instruction teachers who usually serve these grade levels: elementary, like K to 6, middle 6 through 8, and 8 through 12. Those are a little flexible depending on roster size. So, but that's generally what we're looking at. Students do change teachers, special education teachers, as they progress through the grades, just so you know. So is Alder Grove right for your family? Before you decide, ask these questions. Is a parent or guardian available daily to work with students and monitor their work? Is a parent or guardian willing to take on the responsibility of educating the child? Is the student motivated to complete work independently? And a final note, South Bay Union School District, they're our sponsoring district. They sponsor our charter. They have an independent study program also. It looks a little different from ours, and it might be a better fit for you. They are on the South Bay School campus, south of Eureka. Students have the opportunity to participate in a traditional home-based independent study program, or have access and opportunities to participate in a blended school program, including small group instruction, clubs, field trips, after-school tutoring and enrichment programs, and organized sports, et cetera, et cetera. That's their phone number, 443-4828, if you're interested in their program. Other independent study and distance learning options in Humboldt County, just so you know: Northern United Humboldt Charter Schools, Pacific View, Peninsula Union, and Arcata School District all have independent study programs. Check Humboldt County Office of Education for a list of more schools like ours. And If you have any questions, you can call the school 268-0854 or include your questions on the survey. I know that was a lot of words really fast, and so you may have questions. You might also check our website. We have a new, we have a parent-student handbook that you could look at, and that's where most of this information also is. Okay, so I'm going to drop this into the chat. Hopefully you can click right on that and go to the survey, take the post orientation survey. That's how we know that you've watched this orientation video, and that we can get you in touch with the teacher as soon as we see that. So thank you for attending. I really appreciate it. I have to say, usually it's a little more exciting when it's on campus. I usually have snacks or something here, but you know, we're doing what we can in the pandemic, and hopefully we're wrapping that up. Thanks a lot for watching. Welcome to Alder Grove.